Hello, Chris from My Stamp Lady. I'm so glad you're here to stamp with me today. So today we're making a Valentine's card with the Sealed with Love bundle, which is this stamp set, which coordinates with this Love Notes die set, which has this unique edgelet that just cuts the edge, and the Happy Hearts Textured Impressions folder. You can find the Sending Love Suite on pages 14 and 15 of the Stampin' Up! Occasions catalog, and it features the stamp set, some paper, embellishments, and the die set. So we are going to be using a couple parts today. And the first thing I'm going to be using is this die set, and I'm going to be using this edgelet die that I talked about briefly before. So I have a piece of thick Whisper white cardstock. It's a half a sheet, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded. So to use this, I'm going to line it up along this edge. Now there is no cutting edge on this side, so you'll see how that works as I put it through the Big Shot. Start off with my magnetic platform, my acrylic plate, line that up. Let's open up that cardstock because I don't want to cut both the front and the back. And I'm going to just line those hearts up along the edge there so that they will be on the very edge of my card front. And then an additional acrylic plate and run it through the Big Shot. Okay, so then when you pull that off, this is what you end up with. You end up with pieces of heart that is partially cut on one side, and that's your card front. Now in this card cut, in this cut that I've made, this heart will line up. So I'm going to take real red ink, stamp that or ink that up, and then I'm stamping it over that. Now I need to look straight overhead so you can see that through the photopolymer I am going to line that up and go down. Now to get these lining up, I'm going to do it off camera because I need to be straight overhead to see it. There we go. So now I have all of my hearts stamped, and you can see there's a little bit of dimension there because there's some cut spots, so I can pop those hearts out a little bit. If I would have done it on camera, all you would have seen was the back of my head, so that's why I did it off. Okay, so there we go. There's my little edge treatment. To pop that edge up from the Sending Love paper stack, I have this piece of Designer Series paper, and this piece measures 3/4 inch by 5.5 inches. And if you go to my blog, there you'll find all of the measurements for all the papers that I have, including written directions, so you can download that. It's a printable PDF. So if you didn't catch the dimensions here, don't worry, go to mystamplady.com and you will find this post for January 12th, and then you will find the directions. Okay, so see how that sets that off? It's just a little edge down the edge there, but it pops those hearts out a little bit more. So I'm going to set this aside because now I'm going to work on a separate piece that is the focal image. And the first part, pull in a bunch of pieces that I have here. The first part is that I'm going to do the embossing. So I need that textured, or Happy Hearts Textured Impressions folder. The platform for this is the Big Shot platform. I get some glare from my lights, but you can see that there. It's without the thin die adapter or with your tab 1 open on the older platform. An acrylic plate, your folder, and then an additional acrylic plate. And this gets run through the Big Shot or your die cut machine. So there's my embossed pieces. And I have a piece of basic black cardstock that I've cut 1/8 inch larger, and so I am just going to mat that. And we'll just get that centered on there. There we go. Okay, so now for the little pieces to put on top, the first thing I'm going to do is with this little piece here, I'm going to die cut it with the little note piece. And you notice it has this curved edge that will die cut. Well, it's really nice because this little heart image will fit right up into that shape that's at the top there. So I'm going to stamp that on Whisper White cardstock. And then we have this piece here, this heart, and this allows it to cut like a frame around my heart. That's what the center does. So I'm going to stamp this heart that lines up with that. And actually in the stamp set, that smaller heart has a couple other, there's like a couple other images that will fit some of the dies. So be sure to check that out. Okay, so now let's do some die cutting. So I have my magnetic platform, And on there, I'm going to run several pieces through at one time. So let me get this set up. Mind how they fit. Okay, magnetic platform, acrylic plate. The magnetic platform will hold my dies in place. If you find it's not holding it to your liking, you can always use some Post-it tape to hold them down. Lining up those hearts there so they fit right inside that die. I'm going to use this little envelope die right over the Sending Love paper. And then I'm choosing this arrow from the die set. And let's see, there we go. Then we will put an acrylic plate over the top, and I'm going to cut all these at one time through the Big Shop. Okay, so I'm going to come back with my pieces here. There we go. Pulling these apart, getting rid of the excess. Before I go on, I want to add the Sending Love. I waited till after I die cut this so that I would have some guidelines, you know, some boundaries to stamp this in. So I'm inking up the Sending Love with the Tuxedo Black, and I'm just going to stamp that right there in the center. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put together my envelope. There are score lines, and then just using a bowl folder, I am going to press those score lines so that they are nice and firm. Oh, I got that top one a little bit off. Let me get that back down where it belongs. There we go. You could use liquid glue, you could use any type of glue that you would like to put this together. I just use mini glue dots because they're quick and easy. So just finding a mini glue dot on here. Where do they start? There we go. And I'm just going to shut that. And I want the top to close last, so we'll then do the bottom one and the top one. There we go. And I have my little envelope that goes with that little piece there. So now let's bring that card front back in, and you could use any type of glue or adhesive that you want. I'm going to use mini glue dots because I like how strongly they stick, and especially to this textured surface. So the first thing I'm going to set down, get caught up to where I am. The first thing I'm going to put down is my envelope, and let's just kind of place that about right. Oh, I think I'll put that about there. The arrow, I'm going to slip through the back part of the heart there. Okay, so that it looks like it's coming through the raised area. And I can just put down I'm going to put down a mini glue dot to hold, so I caught that arrow in there so that it doesn't slip out. Our Sending Love. There we go. And then I have a length of basic black solid baker's twine, and I will wrap that around the card front twice and then tie a bow. Then when you have your bow how you want it to look, I'm going to just adjust the tails a little bit. Just trim off the excess baker's twine that you have. So I want to line this up a little bit different, pull it apart a little bit, and push it up. And we'll just bring that down like that. I'm going to place this piece down with dimensionals just to give it a little bit of lift off the card front. So let's place those down and then pull off the little top back here. Okay, and then I'm bringing that card front back in, and let's just place that centered here. There we go. Still adjust my twine a little bit there. Okay, to finish off this card, I have taken three of the black heart sequins from the metallic sequin assortment. I couldn't remember the name there for a minute. The metallic sequin assortment. Get that last one out of there. And we'll just place those down with some fine tip glue like that to draw your eye around that group. And if you have any questions on how to do this die cut edge or anything on this card, be sure to contact me at chris@mystamplady.com, and you can find all of the supplies in my online store at shopwithmystamplady.com. Thanks a lot for stamping with me today.